Hello and welcome into Betting Life's preseason college football betting show. I'm almost remiss to say this right off the top. Our last scheduled Saturday show of the year, so let's make it a big one. I'm your host, Thor Nystrom, joined as always by NBC Sports' Eric Froton back today. Welcome back, Mr. Froton, and the coach, Gene Clemons. We will be joined later by Mike Bainbridge for DFS and a deeper player prop discussion. You guys know over the next 90 minutes what you're going to get. All of our best bets, all those player props, and audience questions as well. So start typing those into the chat if you're on YouTube, and we will get to those later on in the show. Also, please click the like if you're on YouTube and the subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And if you're watching us on Twitter, you wouldn't mind sharing that link. We'd appreciate it. Boys, let's get right into it because today we're going to be talking about the 8 bowl games today. And we'll be talking about the 1 bowl game tomorrow, Missouri and Iowa, the old alma mater, against my undergrad's most hated rival. So, I mean, that's a big one in the Nystrom household. Programming note, on Tuesday, we will be back for our first non-Saturday live show of the year, going over the rest of the bowl games that will be hitting the round 2 of the college football playoff on Tuesday. So check for us back on Tuesday on New Year's Eve. Gentlemen, let's get into this. Before I jump into the games, though, I would be remiss if I didn't mention a couple of things that went on last night. We had quite the eventful one. I was telling producer Paul right before the show, last night I'm driving back from the radio station here. I do a fantasy football show on Fridays at the K-Fan here in town in Minneapolis. And I was driving back and I called Froton. And Froton had just gotten off his plane coming back from the East Coast. Where he was with his parents. He was back in San Diego now, and he was just getting home in time so he could change, so he could get back out for the Holiday Bowl last night. We have like 10 minutes on the phone. We spitball a 6-leg player prop parlay on Prize Picks that ended up being 75-1 that I posted last night before the kickoffs of the night bowl games. Bullseye. 6 for 6, 75-1. And then Froton, so he heads over to, what is it called, Froton? Not Qualcomm. What's the stadium?
It's now Snapdragon.
Snapdragon.
They tore down Qualcomm, that absolute festering
that monstrosity.
Sore. Oh, get that out of my life. But Snapdragon, small, probably only holds about 35,000, but very nicely done. San Diego, we got money.
I've become my father naming stadiums that were torn down 25 years ago in a city, and the rampant mispronunciation of names. But the whole point being, so Froton gets over there for Washington State and Syracuse, and before the game, Froton posts an interview that he has done from the field with Joey Chestnut.
Right.
He then gets into an in-depth conversation about eggnog, which was of interest to me because I couldn't get Froton to shut up about eggnog. You guys think he's knowledgeable with player props and passionate? It doesn't even approach the way that he feels about eggnog. Froton, how was your night at the Holiday Bowl? What did you learn from Joey Chestnut? Did you coax him into the eggnog drinking challenge that you intended to?
I tried, but the problem was all the eggnog that was whipped up that he hadn't already consumed for the cameras was dumped on Fran Brown. So that made it difficult to be able to do the eggnog challenge with our friend Joey Chestnut. However, he was kind enough to give us an eggnog recipe recommendation. Even gave a Martha Stewart shout out. From behind bars, Martha Stewart. I don't know, is she out yet?
But no, she's out, and she's living quite comfortably.
Froton, Martha Evans Stewart.
Martha Evans Stewart. Hey, Evans Stewart, 149 in that first game against Ohio State. Let's see if he gets that ladder here. I don't know. I'm excited though, and a great game at Snapdragon. That the Wazoo versus Syracuse game. Plenty of points as always. Syracuse goes over 50. I'll tell you, if they can get that defense squared away next year, Kyle McCord's coming back. Syracuse could be a dark horse in the ACC if they get some D in the portal.
They're definitely going to have to do that. Yeah, they don't play any of that, but Fran Brown did a good job the first time around. And, the upside of being dumped the eggnog is at least Fran Brown could take the shower, right? I mean, they won that game.
His wife will enjoy that.
Exactly. Yeah. So she preferred the eggnog. You know, it's like the rare exception where like you prefer that your husband is dumped with eggnog after a game.
You know, that's like a dream of mine is to be dumped with eggnog. So
I want to hear about
live vicariously through Fran Brown, but only one kind of eggnog: Hood Golden eggnog, made from Vermont. Just an incredible product. I was unable to acquire any last night after I got back in from Boston to San Diego, and the reason why is I have a friend of mine in the Milk Commission. Right, I've actually done the research on eggnog to find out why we can't get Hood Golden eggnog in California. There's a distribution plant in Sacramento. It distributed 800,000 units of eggnog last year. None of it made its way down to Southern California. I am working on that.
Yeah.
I have petitioned the Milk Commission. They actually handle eggnog. I have a close friend, my boy Igor. Eags, what's up? Who is a high-end guy there. And I'm on it. I promise. Next year, Southern California, we will have Hood Golden eggnog.
I don't know what you just said or how much of that was real. It seemed like you were reading
100%
a movie
real.
script there.
Oh, it's 100% real. This is factual information.
Producer Paul says that you're in bed with Big Milk.
So you are.
I'm just
saying.
That
Milk Commission?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You are in bed with Big Milk right now.
You're a sick. You are a sick puppy with that eggnog, Froton. Froton on this phone call. Apropos of nothing, he tells me, and he was so ardent about this, more passionate than he's ever said anything on this show. He goes, eggnog is a 4-season beverage.
Correct. And Tyler Fornes backed me up. Fornes backed me up. He's right.
It's not even a one.
How do you feel about that, Gene? Will you break the tie?
Yeah, Gene, please.
Eggnog, get that out of here.
Yeah.
It's a no-season drink.
That's another great coach take right there.
It's so good.
No, listen, you have to be able to play the long game. You got to be able to survive 4 quarters. You can't survive 4 quarters off eggnog. At some point, it's going to get a little rumbling in the tummy when you're out there putting all that milk and inside of you. That's why White Russians are only a certain time of year type of thing. So, you have to know your beverages.
And White Russians actually taste good. The dude abides.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. The rug is going to tie this room together. Let's go and win one. I'm
going to make a nog Russian. All right, just for you.
I might support that.
Next Christmas Eve, Froton, you got it. I will drink that nog Russian.
All right,
but let's go to your backyard, Froton, to begin our odyssey today. The Fenway Bowl, Boston, Massachusetts. North Carolina and Connecticut. Bill Belichick, we have been told, is not going to be on the premises today. I think was the last I had heard. Too bad. That would have been fun to see him there. Live in the market right now, we got North Carolina minus. We got 2.5. Let me grab the update here. But North Carolina favored over UConn. I'm gonna get we're still at 2.5. A couple opt-out sort of news things. The big one on the UNC side is Omari and Hampton not playing in this game. And you're already, our friend Jacoby Miswell is where the offense is going to be going through today on the North Carolina side. Miswell is playing today. North Carolina also had a couple defensive front starters that are going to the draft. Javari Ritzy and Kamon Rucker, the good edge rusher that they got. And then they got a series of guys in the portal, a couple offensive linemen that it doesn't look like are going to play starting ones. Bryson Nesbitt was already out for the season, etc. UConn took way less shots here than UNC did. And UConn, they have their coaching staff, of course, intact. Shout out to Jim Mora. Playoffs. We're about to be talking about the second round of the playoffs. Whereas on North Carolina, there was the weird thing with Mac Brown. He's gonzo. The Bill Belichick thing. We got the interim staff here. Gene, with all this being said, you got the short favorite being the ACC team here, but they're down. They're going to have the interim staff here. And then you have the G5 team that bounced back year 3 for Mora. Do you like them to kind of pull the small upset, or do you think UNC holds serve here?
Yeah, I think this is really a coin flip game. Even with the opt-outs on UNC, we don't have to act as if UConn's beating a group of, a power 4, whatever you want to call them now, team. It's been wins versus G5 teams. And shout out to them. They've done what they were supposed to do. They were independent. They got to do what they got to do, right? But for me, this game is just kind of 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. What I do like, and what I have seen as a trend with a lot of these games is that they're going over, right? There's just a lot of scoring. It seems to be a lot of haphazard defense being played by these teams throughout the entire bowl season so far. I think North Carolina has an offense that can put up points, and UConn, they score, but they get scored on. So it's like you're going to be out here looking for the points. I think for me, that would lean me towards the over. I like the over. I think I had it locked in at 53.5. And that's where my play would be today. I think both of these teams, either one of them could win. Of course, Marion Hampton wasn't going to play because most of the times the running backs are definitely going to be the ones that opt out of these games. When you look at the history of running backs getting injured in bowl games. So I'm not surprised by that, but I also know that most of these teams have another running back that can ball. See Arkansas last night. So I think this will be one of those games where you'll see a lot of points, and whomever has the ball at the end of the game will be the one that wins it.
Froton, that heading over to the prop side, but I'll get us there via my handicap on this game. I got this, Gene was mentioning, see it as a coin flip. That's basically where my system is at, that this thing should be around a pick-em as opposed to the 2.5. And the what do you call it? The intangibles heavily favor UConn. Are you kidding me? Like the first year, remember there was a surprise bowl team under Mora, and then last year they had this biblical plague of injuries in September, and then the team stunk, even though they were like really good in the trenches. Like Christian Haynes went to NFL, and they're sending I think 2 offensive linemen to the NFL draft this year that the teams are interested in. But all these guys were injured. They were down like 3rd, 4th string quarterback. They stunk last year. Now they're back, resurgent season. It's like you had the blip in the middle. Now you're back, and you get UNC here. Why does UNC care about this game? I mean, there was all the drama during the season. Mac Brown, he's threatened to retire. Now Mac Brown comes out right before the finale, and it's like, no, I'll be back next year. And the AD's like, no, you won't, bud. And then they pull the reverse Uno card, and all of a sudden Belichick's in. You got all this weird stuff. Bunch of players hit the portal, etc. Now you're out Hampton. The UConn likes to keep the ball on the ground, and UNC's front already was not good stopping the run. They particularly give up a ridiculous preponderance of explosive runs, and now you have up to 3 starters that could be out on the defensive front for UNC. I think UConn wins this game. In a vacuum, should be a pick on maybe the motivation swinging heavily to UNC. That's how I see it. With that being said, Froton, and your handicap in the prop element of this game, what did you see?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Darrell Robinson, starting running back for UConn, now in the portal and has actually committed to Auburn. So he ain't playing.
Shout out Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, so shout out to Hugh Freeze.
Hope you're well today, Hugh. Happy holidays, Hugh.
Your boy.
Haven't seen you in the DMs for a while, Hugh.
He'll be back. With UConn.
So we're going to Froton. We're going to Cameron Edwards, Jaden Brown, just so the people know. And those two at UConn filling in for Robinson there, combined for 1,300 rushing yards roughly and 9 touchdowns this year. But they're going to be we're going from a 3-man committee to a 2 for UConn today.
Yep. Yeah, it actually helps kind of clear things
for the
up.
Props for sure. Yeah.
Keep in mind with UConn too, they look like world beaters against the group of 5, and then when they go up against the Power 4, they get destroyed. Every game they played against a Power 4 opponent has had an 11% win expectancy or less, and they've lost all of those games. With what I'm looking at here, Davion Gauze is listed 86.5 rushing yards. He was down there in the 70, like high 70s to start, but he's kept kind of shooting up a little bit because on a per carry basis, has been very effective. 3.5 yak. Several games where he's gone 25, 52 kind of sprinkled in there. 7 runs of 15 plus yards in only 62 carries. He has an explosive element to a game. I watched some of them, 5'11", 215. has that one-cut profile that we're used to seeing out of Omarion Hampton, and I think he fills right in. I'm not worried about Caleb Hood. He's barely been on the field. He's got 7 carries all year for 3 yards. Hood has pretty much been phased out. It looks like Gauze is the back, and I think they'll be good enough to be able to run at a similar level with Omarion Hampton. He only went under this mark one time all season, Hampton. I think he's probably going to be the bell cow, so I'm leaning over on Gauze, 86.5 rushing yards, his 120-plus ladder. I think he's up there about 2.5 1. I think if he goes, he goes.
Yeah, you know? I like when you grab the ladder early in the episode, Froton.
Take it all the way up. So
you go out to that garage, you open the door, and we're grabbing the ladder now. I like that.
That's
we're
right.
Aggressive.
That was not even that's an A-frame ladder. We're not going with the full, fireman version. We'll go with A-frame ladder on that one.
Yeah.
We're going to also go with J.J. Jones, UNC. Man, 47.5 receiving yards. We got him out there at it pretty much, even money, no juice at all. Dude, Jones is the deep threat here, averaging 16 yards of ADOT. I think in a scenario where I'm not particularly worried about UConn being able to stop UNC, they've allowed at least 260 passing yards. I think every single Power 4 team on their schedule. And you have at least Miswell's there. He has been there all season. He knows that the system's in place. J.J. Jones and he have the chemistry. He is the number 1 wide receiver over there for them.
Yep.
I think that even though it's been more of a rushing-oriented attack over the course of the last few games because they can pound them out, I think NC just tries to open this up and you get an over pretty reasonable 47.5 yards there for J.J. Jones. Maybe it's a little speculation. It's just something I kind of like on that. But the one I really like, right?
Yeah.
The one I really like. I'm going to save it for my best bet.
Okay.
I'm going to lay off. We'll go to the next one.
The just really quickly, Froton, Edwards of UConn was priced at it seemed more reasonable, mid-50s, ran for 100 and some yards last time against UMass. This defense that he's facing today absolutely stinks, and he's for an offense that's going to run the ball, and the top running back's gone. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think if you're going to go that direction, especially in a 50s.
Edwards had 142 last time, and it was UMass, but
you want to make the most of your money. I will be checking out ladders.
UMass plays
have one.
Yeah, I mean, they play about as much defense as UNC, but he's only 56.5.
Yeah, certainly 56.5. Explore the ladders. I would say go and check FanDuel. Right now, it's not up on DraftKings. They're afraid to give us a ladder on DraftKings. That should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah. Prize Pick's going to be running from us after last night.
Get the demons out.
Yeah. Well, they called their legal team. They might have to start drawing up how they're going to hand over the deed to that company if we do that again to them.
Well, they're starting to draw up the dismissal papers, whoever made those lines.
Hey, and don't forget that North Carolina Connecticut game starts in 30 minutes.
That's
so
right.
If you want to get some stuff in,
it's going to be
go ahead.
If it does, it starts at 30. Then I gotta give it out. I have to give it now.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, please.
Okay, guys, I can't believe how lucky we are on this one. I'm a little nervous, but Brandon Buckman, wide receiver, UConn, not Brandon Buckhead, not Brandon Buck Wild. But we will be going Buck Wild on this line. 47.5. He's actually at 46.5 right now on MGM. I went and I beat this up right before we went onto air. I've seen it drop to 40.5 in some places, guys. I mean, hey, maybe Brandon Buckman has the game of the Buckman family's entire lineage. Maybe it's the best one they've ever had. But Brandon Buckman has done absolutely nothing all season. Without exception. We joke about, this guy.
He had 2 last week.
Nothing.
He did have, 34 the week before, 49 Temple, but then 6 and 0 the 2 before that. And that's literally his whole season because he was injured all the other games.
Dude.
And he hasn't played since November 9th.
Hasn't played since the 9th. Was injured. Kept 1 pass for 2 yards.
It would be fair to say that Mr. Buckman only has 2 games this season with more than 6 receiving yards.
Yeah, exactly. And even those, it went to Wake, you got 34, and then against Temple, the hapless Temple, they only beat him 29-20.
Wait till Casey Keeler gets there, my friend.
Look, what are we supposed to do here with our friend, the Buckmaster?
So we're fading Buckman. We
got to fade the Buckmaster. Yeah.
And we also got to get to our next game where we're moving to another baseball stadium early on today, the Pinstripe Bowl in Yankee Stadium. Nebraska against Boston College here. We got a live line on this one. We got Bob is in this game. We got Matt Rule. We got lots of stuff going on.
Bob.
3.5 is most of the books. This is 3.5 now. Nebraska is 4 at one of them, but it's only 105 juice at Caesars. This thing has come down a little bit, but we'll call it 3.5. Gene, with that in mind, Nebraska minus 3.5 today in the Pinstripe Bowl. Who do you like in that one?
Yeah, I think this doesn't favor Nebraska. I haven't really been that impressive Nebraska all year, but I do like what Boston College is doing. I think they have superior coaching over there. I think they have a more dynamic quarterback than Nebraska does, even though everybody likes that Mahomes clone over there. I think this is a great opportunity for a full-fledged upset.
Gene, wait, Gene, I'm sorry to break in. So Buckman during Froton, when he was doing his whole spiel there, was at 40.5.
Yeah, it just dropped 3 points.
Well, first I got the notification that it was up to 46.5, and I was like, wait, it went up, and then it pulled up again. Now it's down on here to 38.5.
38.5.
We got some wild Froton. You said the name of it. Brett Buckman has never been hit so much on the internet. No, the system.
Brandon Buckman. Jeez, guys, Brandon.
They got that.
How get his name right?
No, it's Brett.
Don't blame us. Blame Prize Picks.
Is it Brett?
It's Brett.
His name.
I go way back with the Buckmans, man. I go way back.
He's gonna kill us, isn't he? He's gonna get. All right. This is how it starts. All right.
I'm still taking it under. By the way, 38.5. I'm still taking it under.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. Yeah, it's Mr. Buck, and at this point, we all need. It's all hands on deck.
But yeah, back to the. I think Boston College. I think Boston College is super live to get this W today. I think they'll. I mean, this is similar to a home game for them. They'll be able to travel pretty decently to this game. I just like what they're doing. And I like a couple of the players to really show out in this game. So I'm taking Boston College. I'll take the 3.5 because it's free, but I wouldn't mind actually taking Boston College money line right here.
Froton, heading over to the prop market. It's been a long time since on the Prize Picks we couldn't get like the Rayola interceptions. We've had the Green Goblin over the half for a long time. The beginning of the year, remember that cash bonanza? They would give us a Rayola rushing number.
It was the MVP. That was the MVP line of the year because it never went on. It never lost.
Ever.
And we got 5 straight weeks of it.
It was tremendous. And then we would get the full price on the interceptions. We do got the Green Goblin now. Froton on the Green Goblin, are we going to go over on the Rayola interception just for old time's sakes? And is there any other ones that you like in this one?
Oh, it's the last time we get to bet at Dylan Rayola interceptions.
Got to get up
another year.
We're buying that ticket.
Have to. You have some things we just have to do for our own personal enjoyment and out of principle. And
this is out of honor to Dylan Rayola. This is out of honor to his freshman season.
2 weeks, we will be clamoring for a Dylan Rayola interception line.
Sure will. We'll be crying for it. Waking up in a cold sweat.
Begging.
Yeah. Correct.
We'll take it.
Love it. Froton, any other ones for you in that Nebraska BC one? Any other looks in that one? In the prop market?
Grayson James takes over for Thomas Castellanos. Yes.
Yeah.
The king of Queens himself. Mr.
That's right.
Grayson, Kevin James.
Mm-hmm.
With Grayson, right, takes over for Thomas Castellanos. We kind of came into the year expecting Castellanos to be a true dual threat.
Yep.
Whipping around, being dynamic. Well, that didn't quite happen. In fact, he didn't run much at all. And that transferred over to Grayson James, who's clearly more of a pro-style quarterback than Thomas Castellanos is. I think just about anybody is.
He's at 15.5 in the market.
Quarterback. He's at 15.5
that's a
rushing yards on Prop Builder. Guys, you kidding me? He's not particularly great when it comes to the sacks. So you get 3 sacks last game, 3 sacks against SMU. That's going to hurt him anyways. I mean, UNC didn't get any pressure on him, so he went over there. But we're talking about of the games that he started. I mean, he's under in 4 out of 5. And I look at this against a Nebraska front that is basically Iowa light with their front 7 in terms of their pass rush. I mean, they're going to get to him, which is going to suppress those rushing yards. I love the Grayson James under 15.5 rushing yards. Give that to me.
I like that.
And I got one more for y'all.
Gotta go quick. We got
this is in honor of Dana Holgerson, probably the most famous skullet in college football.
Gotta go quicker.
2.5 receptions for Emmett Johnson. He's on Bet Online -120. He has demolished that each of the past 3 games. 6, 5, and 7 receptions while Dana Holgerson is under the, has the clipboard in his hands. And you're going to give us 2.5 at just about even money all the way up.
Shout out to Dana Holgerson, the guy Shout out Dana Holgerson, the mad scientist. When he was an active FBS head coach, we had 2 rancid, atrocious bet against him every time they're in bowl season head coaches, Clay Helton and our boy Dana Holgerson. Dana, we miss you. It'll be interesting, the manifestations of the deleterious effect that you have on your team's bowl preparation this year. Could Matt Rule have usurped the Dana Holgerson effect? That we'll have to find out. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to call for it. I'm going to lay it with Nebraska here. My line on this, I'm pretty close to the margins here, but that's where I would lean. I got Nebraska -5.5 in that one. So with it down to 3.5, Rayola, again, shout out to you. We'll call for Rule's first campaign to end on a good note. Boys, let's move down to New Mexico, the New Mexico Bowl, which really they should call the Walter White Bowl in Albuquerque, New Mexico. TCU today playing Louisiana. We got that. Yeah, we have settled into 10 in the market. TCU was, it was like 11, maybe 11.5 earlier on. We have settled into that 10 number. I understand where the market's coming back a little bit. My number on this one though is TCU -12.8. There is a talent discrepancy in this game. Gene, with the Horned Frogs, the Hypno Toads playing the Raging Cajuns today. Who do you like in the New Mexico Bowl?
I purposely waited to put this game, a lot of these games, in the bet tracker because I wanted to see what the lines were going to do. I figured that people would start to try to jump on Louisiana as this thing got a little closer, and it brought that thing right down to where I wanted it at -10. I think TCU is just a better team. I think they're just a more talented team. Even if you eliminate a couple people with opt-outs, I don't think we have the same level of talent here. And unfortunately, for Louisiana, every time they happen to get into a situation like this is what happens. They're coming off of a really bad loss to a Marshall team that didn't know that they were going to, what they were going to look like. They lost the championship pretty bad to that Marshall team right before they all left Marshall. And I think they're reeling from it. I do like their coach, but I think ultimately TCU comes out here. They put up the early points to get the lead. Louisiana does not do well when they are trailing. They are not a very good comeback team. They want to try to keep things even and then beat you, or they're really good front runners. And if they have to be even with you, if they have to be behind and they're playing catch up and they're forced into a one-dimensional game, that's not a very good game for them. I'll take TCU. I'll lay the 10 points.
That's where I would be at with it too. Yeah. I think that there just is a really big talent discrepancy here. And beyond that, and moving to the prop discussion with Froton, Louisiana, generally in these games, such as the one that we just saw with UNC and UConn. Now, UConn technically is an independent, not G5, but typically in the matchups between the P4 and the G5, you have more attrition on the side of the P4 team with the opt-outs and these sort of things. Not so in this game. Louisiana has, I think we have confirmation of 7 or 8 starters out. A starting receiver, Bruce Sard, Terrence Carter, the tight end that we liked in the prop market some this year. Traylon Washington, more of a rotational guy. And then they have injuries too on the Louisiana side, including, unfortunately for them, to their quarterback, Ben Woolridge. Because recall that Woolridge was hurt, and then Chandler Fields of Glory started in the conference title game. He gets injured in that one. So we're either going to have Woolridge, if he is able to return for this one, or a true freshman, Daniel Beal. I guess Daniel Alley McBeal would get the start in this one. So Louisiana appears to be pretty neutered for Froton. And TCU, again, they're fairly close to full strength here. Cam Cook's in the portal. We probably knew he was going to be. They're not going to care about that.
Good
and they're starting center as well. Yeah, good riddance indeed. Who do you like in the prop market of this one, Froton?
Yeah, well, keep in mind with their offense over there on TCU, Jack Besh.
Yeah,
he won't be playing.
We're gonna see him in Mobile, right?
That is correct. We might also are we going to see Savion Williams as well? You know, where's he going to be? I would hope he gets an invite at least.
Well,
right?
they're both of those guys are interesting evals.
Yeah, very interesting.
Besh is like he's like Joe Juravicious or something, and then like Savion. You know who Savion reminds me of?
Who?
He's like in the line of continuum where you have like
I have one. I'm curious who your comp is.
Okay, you have like Laviska Chenault. You have like
that's exactly where I was going.
Okay, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's like if Laviska Chenault and Cordero Patterson had a kid, but the kid was like 80% as skilled as them, but just as talented. That's Savion.
That's a very fair comp. I like it.
Yeah, he's got no ball skills. You're gonna have to manufacture the touch. But anyhow, any looks for you, Froton, this one?
Yes, and going along the lines with the wide receivers, those two are out. You know, and those are two. I would say they're talking.
And that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
You got Hoover at a 287.5. So obviously the market is expecting to do what TCU does. That means Eric McAllister. We've heard his name cut a few times out of me. Obviously,
Kevin McAllister for Froton. We're home alone again.
And it just so happens Kevin McAllister home alone. I got a couple of Macaulay Culkin comps on Twitter. You know, I was even heckled on the basketball court by somebody who I was kicking his ass all over the court. He called me Macaulay Culkin. That's what happens. People get jealous.
Around the holiday
season. is asserting himself in the paint, protecting the rim like he does. So
it was better than when they were calling you Ellen DeGeneres when we were at the NFL Combine dinner that one night.
Wow,
I didn't mean to go there. Yeah, it was Twitter can be mean sometimes.
I almost left the country just like Ellen did after that.
Sure,
came my way, and it wasn't Ellen DeGeneres; it was Ellen DeGenerate.
Oh, Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah,
which cut to the core. It's very close to
and very clever as well.
That cuts deep.
It does. The ones that don't have a kernel of truth, they don't hurt. But Ellen hurts. We're going to go with Eric McAllister.
Yeah,
I think
got to ride him again.
I think he gets a dozen targets out there. I think he just gets rode hard, put away wet. He's going to be put in the position to get some deep balls as well. He's listed at 62.5 right now, going up. I've seen it spike since I sent the Eric McAllister bat signal up to the homies that have been beating that up. Props, boys. But you look at that 62.5, take that over, and also, man, I think you could look at the ladders. You know, you're looking at 100 plus 320, 110, 450, and if you go all the way up, 120 plus is plus 600. I think it's very much in play that McAllister goes buck wild here.
All this guy does is drink eggnog and bang player props in college football. It's just an incredible life you have, Froton.
And by the way,
you
missed it. You guys missed it. Like you said, the Walter White Bowl, but it really should be the Breaking Bad Bowl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you're right.
And you already have the precedent with the Mighty Ducks. You know, like we have some precedent of like coming from pop culture into sport. I like that one
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
do the Breaking Bad one. You could have Eric
McAllister is the one who knocks.
Froton, you're too much. You had too much nog last night.
Too much nog.
I did. Me and Joey Chestnut were hanging.
Our next one, and man, this one is near and dear to everybody's heart. The Pop-Tarts Bowl. Love that Pop-Tarts Bowl down in Orlando, Camping World Stadium. They have a new trophy where you can put the Pop-Tarts into it, apparently. And then this time, last time it was just like the strawberry one, and then he went into the thing. This year, apparently, they have the 3 jumbo Pop-Tart things, and the winning team gets to elect which one that they're going to eat. We got a lot going on in this one. Miami and Iowa State. Miami gets to stay closer to home, certainly for this game. Iowa State, though, travels very well. The folks and Ames are known for getting out on the road, so that thing could end up being a wash. This the line we got 3.5. We're down to 3.5 around the market here. Gene, who do you like in this game?
And it's interesting too because Iowa State fans are used to coming to Orlando. There's been a lot of bowl games over the year in Orlando. Iowa State just usually ends up in it. This was the one that I looked at and said, man, someone really missed the boat. Like someone should have had a handshake deal in place where either Miami should have been heading to San Antonio or Colorado should have been coming to Orlando. and it should have been Miami, Colorado in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Like, someone really just dropped the ball on that. Anyway, I still do think that this will be an entertaining game. I think this is a points galore game. I don't see how Iowa State stops this Miami offense. Miami's defense hasn't stopped really anyone except for Florida at the beginning of the year, all year. This has points written all over it for me. That's where my bet is going today. I like this game to go over the 58. The 58 points that I put it in. But I also like Miami to get the job done, especially at 3.5. I'd probably buy the hook off. When I play it, I'll probably buy the hook off because I just hate the 0.5 out there. But Miami, I think, has what it takes to get this thing done, especially if we're getting a fully locked in Cam Ward in this game. And this is his last opportunity to kind of show what he can do before he goes off and gets ready for the draft.
And Froton, that gets us into the props pretty decent here. It does appear that Cam Ward is going to play. And it's interesting, like we had all the, Froton, you and I did the opt-out tracker the last year we tag teamed on that one.
Labor of love.
Yeah. A labor of love with another company we won't mention right now. But we do this opt-out tracker, whatever. You used the past couple of years have more opt-outs. It's kind of interesting, this new system that people said would devalue the balls. These lesser ones, don't we have more dudes that are playing? The portal is the thing that is stealing guys from us, not the draft anymore. Yeah. Even friggin' Shadir and Travis Hunter are going to play. Cam Ward playing in this game. Like back in the day, you don't have top 5 quarterbacks, right? Like your older brother's bowl season, you don't have them playing in these non-playoff ones. But anyhow, Froton, with these teams like looking in decent shape, like we do not have a ton of opt-outs in this game. Difference with some of these other ones. What were you seeing in the prop market of this one?
First off, I'd like to expand on your point a little bit you made, and it's very astute. We haven't seen many soft outs this year.
No.
In the past 3 seasons, you have guys, we'll kind of, come and do a quick cameo and then they're out. We obviously know Malachi Corley did that, much to our chagrin. But we haven't seen any of that this year. Quint Allen, just last night, he was in there the whole game, and he had – I watched him take some contact this year. And, man, he's out there going the whole way. And now how that relates to us, Cam Ward. Guys, I'm having a hard time with this here. I've been looking at this since it came out, and I don't know what to do. We got a 272 on Cam Ward.
Wow.
No clue. Why.
272 is a soft out line.
That's a soft out.
We haven't seen any soft outs.
That's a soft out.
Do you think we'll get a soft out now? Where he goes and has a chat, like they have a Twitch call. I don't know what the hell it's called.
And if he does soft out, isn't Poffbarger? Remember Poffbarger? They signed him from the SCS, and then like a week later, they're like, we can get Cam Ward from the draft. And now Poffbarger, I think he transferred to North Texas, take over for Chandler Morris, but I think. But anyway, I don't think Poffbarger will be there either.
Guys,
for whatever it's worth.
What are we supposed to do here? Cam Ward's last game, 272. You still got Jacoby George out there. I think Arroyo's playing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see about Restrepo, but, Sam Brown, 272? I have to. I mean,
you're going in?
You got to take the over, right? If they'll give us a ladder, why not? Last time we had a chance to bet on Cam Ward. I mean, he's not going to want to go out there and light the world on fire and make a statement. Yeah, that's exactly what he wants to do. 272, I don't even understand it. I don't even get it. And you have to hit it as hard as you can.
I love that. Yeah. I'm seeing that at Prize Picks 274, but in the low 270s there. Yeah.
Whatever. They wouldn't dream of putting that line out during the regular season. This is a soft out only line, and we haven't seen any soft
weird line. It's a weird line.
So I love that. And then just one more, again, on principle. Abu Sama, 43.5 rushing yards.
Our boy.
Where are we going? You know where we're going. We're going down. Bye-bye, Abu Sama. Last chance for us to get an under on him. Out of principle.
Yeah, I tried to get an over on Sama against Arizona State. What his number is like low 30s. Finished with 27. It's like, Sama, that's it for you. I tried one time. I tried to support you. I like those looks. We got a few more we got to get through in the next 10 minutes before we bring Bainbridge on. And for folks out there, again, thank you for joining us again. Our last Saturday one of the season. We will have a show on Tuesday, same place. I think the same time we're going to do it in the morning, but on New Year's Eve, hitting all those Tuesday games, and then the games on the first, and then of course the playoff games will be a part of that, and all of our props, etc. So remember, put it on your calendars for Tuesday. But the couple more to get to, boys. Let's do this one. The next couple pretty quick. So just give me your quick thoughts. Arizona Bowl in Tucson. Colorado State they're laying. The market likes Colorado State in this game. I'm sorry, it's 2.5 the other way. Miami of Ohio minus 2.5 against Colorado State. Gene, in that one, who do you like, Colorado State or Miami of Ohio?
I like the over in that game. Colorado State hasn't impressed me really. They win versus teams. Miami
41.5, 42.
Yeah. I think I locked it in at 40.5 earlier yesterday or something like that. I like the over in that game. I don't know why it's so low. It feels as if this entire bowl game season, I was saying it earlier, that the numbers have been lower, but these teams have just been scoring. I think that the emphasis on defense is probably lower. You're seeing a lot more of the opt-outs that make a difference being on the defensive side than the offensive side. I think both of these teams will come in with a game plan to put the ball in the end zone, and their defense will kind of just be a step behind. 40.5 points doesn't really scare me at all. I'm willing to die with that number. I'll take the over.
Froton, in the prop market, do you have anything in that game?
Yeah, our boy Darius Lassie will be missing the first half because he got ejected last game. That's interesting because we got Chase Roberts out there at a very, very reasonable 60.5 receiving yards. He has cleared that 4 out of the last 5 games.
I think you might have hopped this, Froton.
I hopped you.
Yeah. You got anything just quickly for Miami or Colorado State, or should we move on?
No.
Okay. And Miami they have multiple starting receivers out in that one too. Virgil and Javon Dick Tracy, our boy, it appears they're opting out. And McDonald, I didn't get an update on his status, but I'm upset with McDonald.
He's the only receiver we got a line on. Yeah, Cade McDonald. He's the only one.
If he's the only one that plays, you would have to go over on that.
It's pretty reasonable, like 54.5.
Colorado State, their pass defense, 108 success rate, 86 yards per dropback, 88th in EP per dropback. Miami of Ohio only has 3 receivers. The other 2 are gone. Yep. McDonald, he burned us last time, but might have to go back. Yeah, we might have to visit Ray Kroc again and go to McDonald. And sorry.
Cade McDonald had an over.
He did. E-I-E-I-O. Moving to our next one, Gene. North Carolina State laying 7 today, I think, against East Carolina. East Carolina kind of turned around their season at the end. They fired their coach, but more it was that it coincided with this terrible stretch of the schedule that ECU had. So they played all these terrible teams and racked up wins. The line we got on this one updated. We had 7. Ish. Gene, who do you like in this one between NC State and ECU?
Yeah, I like NC State in this game. I think you hit the nail on the head. ECU started beating up on some dogs, and from that, what I saw was that ECU's beating up on bad teams and still can't stop anybody from scoring. So what am I supposed to expect right here? NC State to go out there and not be able to score? Of course. But I also think NC State has a pretty bad defense as well. So give me the over in this game as well. It's over 60. I believe right now some places you might be able to find it at 59.5 or 58.5 or something like that. But over 60, I think this will be a smorgasbord where NC State will put up a ton of points, and then East Carolina will come behind them and put up a bunch of garbage points on the back end. I'll take the over in this. I like NC State to win outright as well. NC State to cover that 7 as well.
Froton, that ECU, they have a starting cornerback that's in the portal. Doesn't look like he's going to play. Of course, Ravel. That was like a stunner from September. I was out at lunch. And I got a text from someone that Ravel had just torn his ACL in practice. But, again, credit to them. They were in the tank for a bit, and then they turned this thing around. But the secondary is it's in rough straits today facing NC State. The interesting thing, and by the way, ECU, their pass defense already wasn't good because, after Ravel was gone, they do have a solid run defense, though. And the interesting thing of this one is that CJ Bailey kid, who I don't think any of us trust, throwing the ball, like that's the way that you would exploit ECU here. And if ECU can shut off the lights on NC State's rushing game, can Bailey do anything? Did you have any prop angles in this one, Froton?
Yeah, we're going to go with Anthony Smith, wide receiver, ECU. Chase Soule out. He was my favorite receiver coming this season for ECU. And then Winston Wright has declared for the draft. I think it's very speculative to see if he plays or not. He's at 50.5 receiving yards. Total 50-50. It leaves Anthony Smith, who has really carved out that X receiver role for ECU over the course of the second half of the season. He's listed at 61.5 receiving yards. I think you're going to have a script where ECU will have to throw the ball. I think they're going to be able to Rajay Harris their way down the field against NC State's front. And Kattenhauser has taken over and you've gotten pretty comfortable after beating out Jake Garcia. So there's continuity in the passing game there. And he has shown a willingness to go to Smith. I'm taking a speculative over on 61.5 receiving yards for Anthony Smith.
Love it. Yeah. I think I probably lean towards taking the points with the dog in that one with ECU, but yeah, I like those prop looks. Our next one, and Froton, we caught up to the Colorado BYU. Just got a couple more minutes before Bainbridge is going to join us. So we'll get through this one quick. Next 5 minutes here. Colorado and BYU today. Mentioned before, and it's cool that Shadir is going to play in this game. He says he will. Travis Hunter is going to play in this game. So nice. I mean, like now that, college football is a little bit different thing with the opt-outs here. So it looks like they're going to be full strength. BYU looks to be decently at full strength at this one as well. So this one could be closer to a full strength kind of a game. On the Colorado side, it's a starting linebacker left for Alabama. That's pretty much all they got as far as the guys who opted out. And then with BYU, starting safety is pretty much the only guy of theirs that of any substance. They have BYU has a couple offensive linemen that are banged up, but that's sort of what we got here. This is a fun matchup. Gene, who do you like in this one?
Man, I tell you what, this is going to be a good game. Lots of respect from both coaches for each other. Everybody seems to be loaded up and ready to go, but Colorado has something to play for. Like, people don't understand. 10 wins matters. Right? Yeah. When you can get to 10 wins are going to matter. Colorado not only wants to get to 10 wins, they want to do it in style. They have the code on how to recruit. Everyone else is just trying to catch up to what they're doing now. They want to look good. They want people to say, hey, this is who I want to be a part of. Mm-hmm. Look at all the people who are leaving and getting ready to go to the NFL. So they'll want all of their departing people to look good. There's some guys who dealt with injury this year who haven't really been able to shine, and they'll give them a chance to shine in this one. I think that Colorado comes out. They're going to be guns blazing with the passing game. BYU gives up 320-plus yards a game through the air. Yeah. Colorado's going to get all that and more. They're going to chuck it all over the place. Shadir Sanders going wild. I like them to cover, and I like the over because, as you know, and I know, Colorado doesn't stop the run very well on a regular basis. They normally do that in the second half. Once they've gotten like bludgeoned in the first half, they kind of lock in. And I think that the linebacker being out for them will make a difference because they don't play with a whole bunch of linebackers. They only play 2 guys at linebacker, and they don't have a lot of depth there on the interior. That's what they want to bring in the portal. So I think that will be an issue. Yep. I look for BYU to put up the points rushing. I look for Colorado to put up the points passing. I like Colorado to cover that 3.5 for them and the over in this game.
Froton, I got a line in this game of Colorado -6, and it's interesting. You look at the BYU pass defense metrics, the rote numbers that they give up. It's a bit higher than some of the advanced stats on that. Some teams are playing from behind with that, and that's where the interesting part of this handicap is with the props, right? It's the Colorado passing attack ostensibly at full strength. What will they be able to get against that BYU pass defense? Obviously, Colorado doesn't run very much. And then Colorado's defense improved a bit more this year, right? They especially on the side of their pass defense, the run defense improved a bit as well. But that part of it's interesting. How did you end up seeing the props in this game?
Chase Roberts, as I sort of alluded to a little bit earlier.
You got halfway done before.
5 out of the last 7 games, he has hit the 61.5 mark and gone over it. And the only time, even when he went under, he had 59 against Arizona State 2 games ago, and he had 9 targets, right? As we discussed, Darius Lassiter will not be on the field in the first half. He doesn't have a choice on that. So you're going to get at least 1 half, maybe 2 of Chase Roberts, clear wide receiver 1. And given the script, I think we'll be looking at, I think we're going to see Shedeur and company be able to move the ball, be able to score. And it looks like they're going to have just about everybody. It seems like they're going to play.
Any others?
Then you're going to have to go. Shedeur Sanders himself.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
gotta go
line out. There's a price line war going on right now. I've seen 5.5 rushing yards, but I've also seen 12.5 out there at Bet Online. It's one or the two, right? You can go out there and hit Builder and get 12.5 rushing yards, and Shedeur Sanders, you have to take the over. Okay, he's gone under that 5 of the last 7. The only time he's gone over was Kansas, right? 26 rushing yards. He only got sacked 1 time. And then against Texas Tech, where he had 16, right? We're talking about otherwise he's in negative territory, and he gets sacked, 3 times a game. Is Shedeur Sanders really going to want to be running all over the place where he's heading off to the NFL? Is he going to sit there and just distribute and take a couple sacks?
I like that.
I think he probably ends up in negative territory, under 12.5 rushing yards.
Love that. Yeah, that would be a seconded for me. We got Mike Bainbridge in the house, so let's bring him up. Mr. Producer Paul, we'll say hi to our friend, Mr. Bainbridge. There he is. How you doing?
Bainbridge.
There's Bruno.
Mike Bainbridge from the CFF site. From where everywhere are you now, Bainbridge? Tell the people where you're at now.
We're at CFF site, Fantasy Points, X, Twitter, anywhere you can find me.
You can find him everywhere, and you can find him the last 30 minutes of our Saturday Fall Show, which we have so appreciated, and people out there have as well. Let's dive into the DFS right away, and then we'll start hitting props. We're going to push that mailbag back here about 15-20 minutes so we can see what we hit before we get into that. But let's start with the DFS, Bainbridge, and then we'll transition over. And I'll also just say I know that we got a couple more games. What was it? Army and Louisiana Tech, and we're going to hit the Iowa and Missouri one quick before we get out of here too. But we'll hit those ones before we go. But Bainbridge, let's hop into DFS. What do you got for us today?
Well, that's a good place to start. I think your core build starts at quarterback with Bryson Daly from Army. You are playing a team that is on short notice entering that bowl game in Louisiana Tech, who has a losing record.
Good point.
I just think Army runs it up on Louisiana Tech here. So he is definitely your starter at quarterback. He is the highest projected player that we have at the CFF site for remaining bowl games. So lock him in. And then as you guys kind of alluded to, talking about Colorado, let's go with Travis Hunter at wide receiver, 9,500. These guys are all playing, right?
Wow.
They have insurance policies going. So lock Travis Hunter in as one of your wide receivers there. Some of the mid-tier plays we like, Keon Mosey, Miami of Ohio facing Colorado State. Colorado State, I believe, is without multiple defensive linemen and their starting linebacker in this game. Mosey has 100+ rushing yards in 7 of the last 10 games. So we'll go with him at 4,800. And then Louisiana wide receiver Lance Legendre, 4,900. Multiple pass catchers for Louisiana are out. Ben Wooldridge is back in. Is
he back today?
He should be back today. Yes.
It's my understanding.
I got confirmation.
I got a behind the scenes DM from Luke Probasco of the G5 Hive, the great G5 Hive, and he gave me the nod. So thank you.
He had the bat phone into Woolridge, the Woolridge camp.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everybody needs to know is Wooly Woolridge. This is important.
Yeah, it sure is. Any others, Bainbridge?
Yeah, the bargain bin types are really strong this on this slate.
What you got?
JP Richardson, and not even just JP Richardson, just get a TCU wide receiver in your lineup. Maybe multiple. We talked about Eric McAllister, or you guys talked about Eric McAllister. He's only 4,200. JP Richardson's 3,900. They're both stackable at this rate. And then Justin Jolie, 3,300. He should be the top pass catcher for NC State.
Why did you pronounce that like Angelina Jolie?
Is that not how it's said?
Isn't it just Jolly?
Is it Jolly? Usually Froton corrects me on all my pronunciation.
I thought it was Jolly, but oh gosh, I'm not sure about this. I like his 40 and a half over receiving yards.
We'll update everyone on Tuesday.
Jolly Jolie, he's only 3,300. Put him in your lineups. And then my top play, probably of the entire slate, only 3,100. And we'll get into this more with the props. Yannick Smith for ECU, 3,100, almost min pricing. He is going to be arguably the top receiver for East Carolina this week. When Winston Wright was out in week 13, Yannick Smith had double-digit targets, 100+ receiving yards, and a touchdown. At 3,100, he is the top play on the slate.
What is he at in the prop market?
I haven't seen him.
He is not listed in the prop market.
He isn't listed anywhere. They refuse to put him out. They're scared. They had Winston Wright out instead, but he's probably not going to play. I mean, is that your read as well, Mike?
He's out. He's not playing.
Yeah, he's out. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have Souls already in the portal. He's gone. Winston Wright is gone. These are the two guys who are replacing them, and they're going to have to throw it script-wise. Maybe we get a Yannick.
He's still out later. there. Prize Picks has Winston Wright out there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's at 50, right? I don't know
he's at 50 and a half, yeah. And then they only got 2 receiving options out there. One's obviously Rajay Davis and Anthony Smith, 62 and a half.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yannick.
I'm not seeing any Yannick Noah.
So that's
you guys know who Yannick Noah is?
Yes, we do.
Oh, my man knows. Yep.
Tennis player, by the way.
Tennis player. I think he went to the French.
All right, Froton, we don't have time for eggnog or tennis. I'm so sorry.
No eggnog, no tennis.
Let's hit the I think. Oh, so we had 2 games left. Let's just group these into one and go a really quick round robin, and then we'll do the props. We'll get back into that, and then we'll hit the mailbag. The last one tonight was the Army Louisiana Tech, and as Bainbridge mentioned just a bit ago, Louisiana Tech comes in here to replace Marshall. Marshall pulling out of the bowl game because their coach. We need a 30 for 30 on what happened at Marshall. It seems like Huff and the administration didn't like each other, but now basically Huff is taking the whole team to Southern Miss. So now the worst team in the Sun Belt now has all the players and the coaching staff with the best one that just won. But anyway, whole point being, Marshall pulls out Louisiana Tech, the local team who was 5-7. They then got to accept this bowl bid, and I'm sure Sonny Cumbie was thrilled about that. He came into this season on the hot seat. But this is a lot to ask. Louisiana Tech does have a pretty good defense. It's their offense that is a travesty. They do the air raid thing, but who's the young kid? Turner or whatever, the quarterback that has not been good.
Bullock.
Yeah.
Bullock, yeah.
Bullock did get me over on one of the nights, one of the random CUSA nights or whatever. But yeah, the passing offense there with the air raid that Cumbie runs has not really gotten off the mat there. The line on that game that we have was 14 before. We are up to 14 and a half. There's a couple books you could lay more juice to do 14. So the first we'll do Army, and then the other game tomorrow night, because we're not going to see you in between. Everyone give us your quick thoughts. Army, Louisiana Tech, and then Missouri and Iowa. Missouri right now in the market, it's -3, but it's sort of stuck between 2.5 and 3. You're going to have the juice depending on which side of that you go. So the other one, hit both those with your comments. Gene, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I'll start. Put all your money on Army today. That's all I got to say on that.
Last time for the stimulus package.
Kanye Udo is out because he transferred to Arizona State. Yeah. Which I think is really interesting. We can have that conversation another day. Yeah. But that's not going to matter because Captain America's there and he's going to run the ball a bunch. I like Army to run away with this one. Iowa and Missouri is, in my opinion, one of the worst bowl games I have ever seen.
No slander for Iowa on the show. I mean,
no. Just the bowl game.
Okay.
Just slander for the bowl game. It is a absolute train wreck of a bowl game. Okay. I can't believe we have to sit through it. But since we do have to sit through it, I'm taking the under. I can't see how points are going to be scored in this game.
I can't believe the slander for Nashville there. We went to Nashville, I don't know, a year ago. I like that city. It's a nice city.
Yeah.
Next time Vandy does a big upset, I want to be there so I can carry them goalposts down Broadway or whatever. Froton, let's go to you next.
Got nothing on Iowa, Missouri, but Louisiana Tech, Army, as Gene mentioned. Our boy, Yeezy, the final time. We won't get to bet on Kanye Udo, but in honor of Kanye, I will take an excerpt of his classic Jesus Walks.
Oh, boy.
Yes, mama, I know I act a fool, but I'm a fan of Bryson Daly, think he runs for 2. Over. Bryson Daly, 1.5 rushing touchdowns, -120. I'll take it.
Bro, it was too much eggnog here the last couple of weeks.
That was for Gene. Gene, how was my flow?
It was immaculate. It was immaculate.
Thank you. Immaculate,
Gene, dude. You are far too kind.
Everyone's used to my singing, but I can flow too.
Wow. Bainbridge, did you have any props or any thoughts on either of those two games? It's okay.
No offense, Thor, but I'll be looking for Brendan Sullivan underplays when those pop up.
hey. Yeah, we
a long, rich story tradition of fading Iowa quarterbacks in the postseason.
It's unbelievable, boys. I mean, Iowa's winning that one. So we're
the ghost of Alex Padilla is coming back for us.
Yeah, that's right. The one tonight with Army and Louisiana Tech, like, so I have that one Army -13.2. If I had to, I think at this point with it being 14.5, I'd probably take the points there. Louisiana, it was a short fill-in, but they do have this solid defense, and they are close. That game being in Shreveport, and Louisiana Tech does have this solid defense. So I mean, like, we'll see. They do have some speed on the second level, and that's it. Talked about this a million times this year. That's the defenses that can slow down and or stop either Army or Navy. It's the defenses that on the second level they can get sideline to sideline. Louisiana Tech, they have a shot. They're not going to keep them off the scoreboard for sure, but you just got to suppress it a little bit. Let's get into and Gene, we're going to do your FCS. We'll go at the end with
no FCS today. We'll cover the FCS championship on Tuesday.
Okay, sweet, awesome.
I want to give a quick shout out to the comment section. Jason K, Anthony Smith over 3.5 receptions, +102 on FanDuel.
Yeah,
strike. Yannick. Anytime TD is +200. Thank you. The Onion Man scored in 3 of the last 4. How do you feel about that, Michael?
Well, Jason K just ruined my top play for this. So just hammer it. We'll get it out of the way early. Hammer that line on Anthony Smith, please.
Jason K, how dare you put out such
it's a good call out. Grab it.
Love it. All right, so we'll start with quarterback. Any prop plays that we haven't done yet? Do you want to go first, Froton?
No, I'm good. I'm a wrap. Okay. I got them all.
Bainbridge, any player quarterbacks for you in today's card?
Hopefully this one doesn't get a little feisty here, but I touted under on Cam Ward passing yards earlier today.
What?
Reports,
it's on. We're beefing.
Don't bet it if you don't.
Are you soft outing me?
If the reports are that Emory Williams is going to be the backup and is going to play today. So I don't think Cam Ward plays the entire game. I think we do get a soft out in this matchup. At least that's what Miami reporting is saying.
All right, well, that's the reporting. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. We'll see.
Sadness.
We will see.
It makes sense. We'll see
we still had 274.5 for that. Something like that.
That actually might be down last time I saw. So at least on ESPN.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some more investigating on that one. But the Miami receiving props right now, I can only on Prize Picks. I think there's only one that is live right now. That being George. I don't know if you guys are seeing any other ones that are up. But
I'm looking right now.
If
Ward's up, Cam Ward's still up.
But if we knew that Ward wasn't going to play and there was more offerings there, that would be a potential our shower play under on the receiving options. But we're going to need some confirmation on that.
Apologies for that, gentlemen. Apologies. Thank you, Michael, for the correction.
Froton, any other quarterback prop plays for you that we didn't hit before?
No, I'm tapped out. I went with all of them.
Did you guys covered the Golden Goose, right? Dylan Raiola rushing yards. We covered that already.
Wait, are they offering again?
It was started at 3.5. It got down to 1.5. We're still taking that, obviously.
Wait, what site?
FanDuel. Is it still
FanDuel? Jeez, Michael, you didn't tell me about this in the morning. I'm sitting here texting you before the show. You'd say
these lines are literally popping up, 15 minutes before. I lost Jacoby Williams under yesterday.
So annoyed.
15 minutes before. Ugh.
I'm so annoyed. And for any of our politicians out there watching this, change the effing laws. I am so sick of this nonsense. And you go over a state line. Oh, now here it's legal. You can play underdog and Prize Picks, but you can't do these books. But here it is the exact opposite. And it doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. But you figure it out. You go across the map. This is ridiculous. This all should be legal. Legalize the friggin' thing. So we don't have to I need to be able to have access to hit the Dylan Raiola under rushing when it comes out the morning on domestic books. Next year, do not deprive me my right to do that. Please. That was from my local politician.
Yeah, and while we're talking about politicians, stop pretending that these guys are amateurs anymore. Yeah. They're all making $200,000 a year,
and they will officially be employees here within the next couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. Enough. Charlie Baker, screw
the Charlie Baker. Don't even get me started.
Hey, by the way,
don't even get me started on that.
Quarterback prop Shedeur Sanders over 3.5 passing touchdowns. Even if he doesn't play the entire game, he's going to light up BYU. Y'all understand? They are fully loaded. No one's talking about it. They haven't been full strength at wide receiver since probably like week 3. They've been playing with a bunch of like the bottom end dudes, which, by the way, bottom end dudes are still really good, but they're not, they're not those top end guys. Will Shepherd, he's got one more chance to make an impression. LeJontay Wester, one more time. And then I'm not sure if he's going to play or not.
Jimmy Horn
Jimmy Horn Jr. is back.
Yep.
They are going to feed him the ball. If you see Jimmy Horn Jr. right now, he's not on Prize Picks. I don't know if he's on any other play, but if you see Jimmy Horn Jr. pop up on any play, smash and hit it right now. Jimmy Horn Jr. is going to go bananas because they want him to make up for all that time that he's missed without playing. Shedeur Sanders is not coming out this game until he gets those guys touchdown passes. Like
you could ladder that up. Yeah, like because the even money is around the 3. I don't know I don't have it in front of me, but I would think that the 4 would be closer to 2-1. Does either of you guys have up the thing where you can see the 4?
I'm on my dashboard. I don't see Horn is not up. Wester, Hunter,
Horn's
Shepherd,
definitely not up.
All
to push the Shedeur to 4 touchdowns, what the price you get? It's probably around 2. I would just assume.
No memento.
Prize Picks. He's at demon time at 3.5.
Okay, he's a demon. Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yeah. But yeah, and we can return to that. Bainbridge, while he's looking that up, you want to go to running any other we'll go to the running back position, any player props there we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, very light on the running back for me. I would say Ramir Johnson is up at 38.5. I would probably take the under on that one, but half unit on that. So nothing for me on the running backs really.
What was
Shedeur at 4+ touchdowns, 2 plus 235, 5 plus 800.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
okay. Yeah. Like it. Froton, any other running or wait, did you say that you hit them all as we went?
I gave them all out.
Wow, look at the efficiency there. Gene, any for you?
Right. Nothing for me on the rushing.
Trying to see if we had any other
running maybe ones. A Kyle Robichaud if you want to get spicy. Robichaud over 69.5. But
okay. That one that I really liked that game's playing with we went over the rushing of the UConn and UNC. Yeah, that one's obviously going. Bainbridge, any wide receiver player props today?
I'm on Anthony Smith as we kind of alluded to. Keelan Marion, 39.5 receiving yards. I know that we discussed Darius Lassiter being out for a half, but he hasn't hit this line for the majority of the season. And I believe he would be running outside, so Travis Hunter would be covering him in that first half. So I would go under 39.5 on Keelan Marion. And then we have Robert Williams for Louisiana at 25.5 receiving yards. Apparently he got carted off. I didn't watch the carted off in the conference championship game. He's listed as a backup on the depth chart. So if you can get 25.5 receiving yards, I would go under on Robert Williams for Louisiana.
And what'd you say on Marion again, Bainbridge?
39.5 receiving yards.
I see him at 42.5 up here.
I'm seeing 41 in Prize Picks, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm seeing 42s. 39.5 is MGM, but yeah, you can get 42s. Not on Bet Online though. Damn.
Froton, any? Oh no, we already went over. You don't have any other.
I'm done.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I'm not used to this efficiency out of you, Froton. Maybe it's the NOG, the performance enhancer that you were chugging last night.
Travel day yesterday.
The other wide receiver plays. I need the Jeopardy filibuster music.
Dude.
I'll tell you what, I can go dip into the mailbag here and
please
give some props. Griffin
Elkins
mentioned over 2.5 on Shador, minus 127 on Prop Builder. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, especially with Prop Builder. I expect those to be usually destroyed at this point. I'd like to give it up to our friend Historical Anomalies. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Hey, 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 yeah. A knock, knock, noggin pun. That's what we're all about. Somebody said, oh, geez. Somebody asked a Sutton or AJB question. What's going on? This is a college football.
He's already been admonished.
Jennings or Gmo? What's going on right now, guys?
The audience already got him. I love it.
Oh, wow. Somebody mentioned the Braden Locke Memorial interception this week.
Braden Locke he's on the move. He's going down to Tucson. He's going to back up Computer next year, baby.
Unfortunately, we can't give that to you. I'd love to give it to you guys.
They're asking who's filling it, though. Who's filling that place?
Who's filling the place?
Yeah, who's going to be the Braden? Because we've named it the Braden Locke Memorial over 0.5 interceptions. So
that's a fair question.
Who's that guy now? Is it Raiola? I know we talked about Raiola giving
for
up
today.
Yeah, today it's Raiola. We should offer an alternative too. I mean, in order to be fair. Let me
I mean, if we're talking for next year, that's what we spend June and July doing is looking for that guy. You know,
we're doubling up Raiola. Then if we got rushing yardage and we got the interceptions, that's a lot. That's a lot of action. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's great door.
You know what?
Mike Hughes.
You know what I kind of like?
Our boy.
Rocco Beck is a wild man.
Yeah,
and they're going up against Miami. I think there's going to be a little bit of gunslinging happen in that game.
He's going to be.
While I love Rocco, as Bainbridge will say, personally he's a second team All Big 12 player props quarterback.
Sure.
I hit a lot of Rocco Beck overs consistently in the 230s when he's going 250 over. I mean, he was pretty solid weekly play. I like his over interception. I think he throws one against Miami. He'll be pressing.
Yeah, he's at the house. You know, he's from Tampa, so he'll be close.
And it's only minus 125, so it's not like you're getting killed. I didn't want to pick one that was like huge, you know.
And Huseman asked us about we talked earlier about Grayson Kevin James. Our friend Mike Huseman, what's up, Huseman? Says Grayson James 193.5 combined passing and rushing. Who do you guys have any thoughts on that one? We had I think when we talked about James,
I don't think he rushes at all.
We were talking about the rushing, but this one you're combining the two at the 193.5. Any thoughts on that with the passing and the? I mean, basically it's your passing yards at that point, right? Like we don't think he's going to be running at all.
Yeah, it's all passing yards there. So like I would even.
And it's supposed to rain, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's raining in Boston.
And it's in Yankee Stadium where it's gonna
a weird
functional
stadium
away game. Yeah, you're
this is the one in
your Boston College.
Yeah.
First off, what are they doing sending the Eagles to Yankee Stadium and not Fenway? I don't know, but I mean, I definitely lean over
on the James one.
Excuse me, no, what am I talking about? That's James. I don't like the rushing.
Right,
I don't like
but
the rushing at all.
Do you think he gets over?
So
the passing,
Bainbridge 193.5 to combine Grayson James passing and rushing. Do you have a thought on that number?
No, I wouldn't touch it. We have like 204 projected total yards for Grayson James, so I just wouldn't touch that one at all.
Yeah, and Bainbridge is talking about on the CFF site. They have player projections every single week. It's a really cool feature that they do. Helps you. With
you want to see something interesting? This is the weirdness of lines, by the way.
Yeah.
Grayson James is at 193.5 total on rushing and receiving, but his rushing is 15.5 on Prize Picks. His passing, not receiving, his passing is 185.5, which means that Prize Picks doesn't believe he's gonna get over that 193.5, or else his passing would be higher, right? So like you're looking at it, and it's like if you don't like one, you can't like the other.
Yeah, well, the Prize Picks believes in the boogeyman after last night. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I got popped on a half a reception last night. I'm still salty about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel better about it. Go.
Sorry.
He has us Dylan rushing over, but we need more Dylan.
He's talking about Raiola.
Oh, the Raiola.
Okay, Raiola.
Under.
And then let's see. Producer Paul put in. I can't have the game, the UNC one that's going right now because we're on here. But Paul said that that Jaden Brown, the
UConn overprop.
Yeah, with the Russian there.
We did get some good news. Skylar Bell is playing for Connecticut, so that helps the Brett Buckman receiving prop. So looking good there, boys.
We have a long history.
Nasty.
Yeah, we have a long history of fading that guy.
Jaden Brown already has 47 yards on one rush. So
that was like last night with
the buddy from Arkansas.
Yeah,
Rodney Hill.
Rodney
Hill.
Oh, it was
Rodney
so
Hill.
easy.
Shout out to you, bud. That one was
Rodney Hill.
That 6-legger last night was surprisingly little sweat. Yeah, those ones were coming in right away.
I was gonna go with your 6-legger when you popped it, but I already had a 4-legger in that had 3 of your 6 legs, and the other one was Caleb Douglas over 5.5 receptions, and he got 5 receptions.
This will speak to just the sicko degenerate relationship that Froton and I have. But we had a brief argument because I was thinking about toggling the Maeva interceptions from 0.5 to 1.5 to get myself a 4th red demon in that thing yesterday. Yep. And he's like, "You've probably gone far enough with the 75 to 1. Even that one would have come home.
It would have cashed.
Everything came home. Even if it had been 2.5, it would have come home. Like that
funny.
Thing. Man, that was the gift that kept on giving.
I enjoyed getting to taunt the Bucks over Marcel Reed and like literally talk smack about that line from the field. 25.5 pass attempts. I look at he ended up over 40 for Christ's sake. It's like, come on, what's going on here?
Shout out to that USC pass defense.
It's awesome. It's
there's
best.
Been so many individual defensive units that we have just over and over again flogged this season. The USC pass defense. They would get up there too in the future. And maybe this is a note for me to bring up to the bosses. We need to have like a gala ceremony at the end of the season where we do give out our player, like our player awards. We need the All-American prop team. We need the individual awards. We need the gambling Heisman, gambling coach of the year.
We should have an award, like a after the season award show to just and have it coupled with like the FBS championship game, so then we can give some championship game props with it. Like, I think that would be fun.
I know someone that can do the red carpet and the tuxedo. He has a bit of chops for interviewing, especially in crowds. There's been video evidence since last night. Froton, would you be open to do that?
I can talk to Joey Chestnut and see if he's interested.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to everybody in this one. You're gonna be like the Ryan Seacrest or the I don't know.
We'll be on location. We'll be on location for that. Let's get the.
I think I was born to do that. Frankly,
absolutely were.
I got a nice little B-roll. I'll be fitted. The Chestnut interview last night. I can shop around, so I'm feeling good about my sizzle reel.
And then we're gonna dump eggnog on you, Froton. After that thing is.
Oh no! You're gonna dump eggnog right in my mouth. I'm gonna go and you're just gonna dump it right in. All right. So I'll go right.
You and your boyfriend, Brown.
Somebody
don't waste it. Don't waste
the rest of the broadcast. If you say any more pausable things, I'm just gonna start saying pause.
Maybe this is our cue to do our best bets and get out of here. So let's begin the round robin on that. Gene, let's go to you. You already mentioned that you're on Army. Navy came through yesterday.
I told people last week Navy was a part of the stimulus. Get on Navy. They were going to do their thing, and shout out to them for proving me right once again.
Shout out Blake Horvath.
Salute, right? And by the way, I said last week that would be the Blake Horvath for Heisman kickoff. And he did nothing to dispel those rumors. He had some early juice in the year as a dark horse Heisman candidate. And I'm going to go as soon as the Heisman odds come out, he'll be at plus 500,000. I'm going to put a little dollar on him because you just never know what's going to happen out here in these streets. I do like Army today. I think Army runs roughshod. And I think that this is the part where you didn't mention about it, Thor. Mm-hmm. Yes. Louisiana Tech's defense is good, but do you know who's out for Louisiana Tech? Kobe Fields is out for Louisiana Tech, starting linebacker. David Blay, He's out for Louisiana Tech. Starting defensive tackle.
David Bland, did he disappear?
Blay, not Bland. Blay.
Sorry.
Jadon Burnett.
That's on me.
Jadon Burnett, starting defensive end. He is out. Pig Cage, the starting safety.
Pig Cage.
He is out.
What are these names?
Hey, listen,
Pig
I didn't
Cage.
make the names. I'm not their mama. Don't blame me.
How did that kid not go to Arkansas?
Yeah, right. How did they miss on that? We'll never know. These people being out matter. Why? Because against like option style offenses and triple option offenses, the defensive tackle, the defensive end, that linebacker, and the safety, they're all a part of the read. They're all a part of understanding how to formulate against the reads.
Yep.
So if the defensive tackle and in the end, if they don't read properly, there's a gaping hole for someone to run through. If the safety doesn't come downhill and run the alley, there's a gaping alley, a lane for the quarterback to run when he pulls it. If the linebacker doesn't scrape over the top and fill, then there's a gaping hole for a pitch man to go to. All of these things are going to be bad for Louisiana Tech. That's why my play of the day, not only do I like Bryson Daly over 1.5 touchdowns, Eric Froton, but I like Bryson Daly over 2.5 touchdowns for my play of the day. I think Captain America will hang up the shield at Army by rushing for 3 touchdowns. And by the way, it's over 2.5 rushing and receiving. So if you're worried, he might actually get one of those little trick plays where they just like unload the chamber and he gets a passing touchdown reception. But I like him to get 3+ touchdowns today by any means necessary. It's Captain America for the Army. My stimulus package stays on. Go ahead and put them up there. You can put it on the board.
Yes. Love it. We'll go to Bainbridge next. Bainbridge, someone was trying to steal your play of the day. Maybe it's still your play of the day. If we audible and play of the day, what's your favorite one today?
Yeah, we'll stick with it. It's still at even odds at FanDuel right now, so you can jump on Anthony Smith for East Carolina over 3.5 receptions.
Anthony Smith.
I like +7. We have him projected at 78 receiving yards, so I like the +70 or 70+ receiving yards at plus odds right now in FanDuel as well.
Love it. Did we ever get the other line on the other ECU? Did anyone ever drop?
Still not listing Yannick Smith right now. So just start him up in DFS.
Yeah, I was looking because I was trying to see if they. Yeah, Winston Wright, they're still hanging out there for whatever that part of it's worth. Mr. Froton, how about you?
Yeah. So we had mentioned this a little bit, and Michael has confirmed it. Ben Woolridge will be playing today against TCU, and that's good news. That's good news because I do think TCU won't have much trouble moving the ball. I think they'll be just fine in their passing game, as we've discussed. But on the other side too, that means Louisiana is going to have their pedal to the metal. And with Woolridge, man, when he's healthy and he's out there and playing, this is a really good Louisiana offense. I've had the chance to watch a few times this year. Just been very impressed. I think they'll be just fine moving the ball. I think they'll be able to stop anybody. But keep in mind, Woolridge, 264 against Arkansas State, 252 against Texas State, 373 against Coastal Carolina. Wake, good comp here, 257. Tulane, 238. He's consistently going over this 200, 204 number that we're seeing out there for him. I think it's kind of been an overcorrection for a rather milquetoast TCU defense
what a use of milquetoast. Our last Saturday show, just out the door, you're just going to drop that one for everyone.
Excuse me, and I apologize. Nog toast, right? Nog toast.
He's in bed with bit milk. He's in bed with milk.
Absolutely.
Better
that
on
was a
that
callback
one.
to that. Yeah.
But TCU has allowed Arizona 287, Oklahoma State 233, Baylor 242, Texas Tech 258. It's UCF 230. It's not like they've been particularly stingy on through the air, and a lot of times they're up. So they're playing off, and there's the free yardage just being racked up. And what I think would be Woolridge's maybe last start, I don't know, maybe he has another year of eligibility, but if he's out there, I think that script-wise, everything kind of fits, and he's healthy and starting. I think the only question I have is just health. And otherwise, he sails over this. So I don't have a problem. I'm going with Woolridge's over 199, 204, depending on where you can get it at. You could also look at that ladder at 250. You're getting 3-1 on DK. I mean, 3-1 odds. Stranger things have happened than having a shootout with a TCU defense, given this script that's in our favor. So really like the over there on Belmont.
You go stranger things. I'm going to go into the upside down, and we're turning back the clock to the Dylan Raiola rushing. We are fading that again. The books have been generous enough to give us the 1.5 is where it is now. You guys said maybe it was 2.5 before. 1.5 live. Happy to take that. Dylan Raiola finished with like negative 50,000 rushing yards in high school. And he doesn't it's funny when he's in the pocket and then he'll the play's extended and then he'll start meandering up to the line of scrimmage and there will be no one for 30 yards, just an expanse of wide open field. And he will stop on a dime right at that line of scrimmage and he'll just wait there till say anyone. He doesn't run. He doesn't want to run. They don't do quarterback design runs for him. And he doesn't even want to when it would be free and advantageous for him to do so, to pick up a whole bunch of yards. So we're going to go the under on the 1.5 with him. We also talked before about how we like the over with his interception. So those would be the two that I would go for, Mr. Raiola. Gentlemen, I think we hit everything, right? We're out of time. There are bowl games already going. There are so many more that are about to begin. We have 8 going total today, and then we have the one tomorrow. And again, programming note for everyone out there. And again, thank you for joining us today. Next Saturday, no show that day. We are moving it up to Tuesday, New Year's Eve. We will have our next live show where we talk about the college football playoff games, the round 2 ones that are going to happen that day and next day. All the bowl games over the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd. We'll clean up. We'll clean up, crew everything. Even the last one is at Buffalo Liberty. Spoiler alert on that one. Love Buffalo. So hit that one before that show begins and that thing gets over 3. For my co-hosts, the coach, Gene Clemons, NBC Sports' Eric Froton, and the CFF sites, Mike Bainbridge. I'm Thor Nystrom. Let's go cash some tickets.